Now, I'm running out of room on my board here. Number 7, once you have all of this initial groundwork laid, you'll notice that the 7th article of faith then goes to what are the fruits that are going to flow out of that church as far as the gifts of the Spirit. And what's going to be manifest if you go to that church and associate with these people?
Yeah. And you probably had a lot of discussions already when you did section 46 and you at home of talking about gifts of the Spirit. I do think it's important in context. In Joseph's time, right at this time, there were people who kind of would dampen spiritual gifts. They didn't think that they were logical or what educated, rational people would do. They wanted Christianity to be appealing in that way. Mm-hmm. And so they kind of suppress the gifts of the Spirit as something that's erratic. And one of our main claims from the very beginning is, no, if you receive the Holy Ghost, you're going to receive the gifts of the Spirit. And these things, you will have the spirit of prophecy. You can have a vision. There will be healings, etc. That's an important point from the beginning of the restoration. And if these things are gone, then what does Mormons say? Faith is gone.
Faith is gone. Yeah, if miracles have ceased, then we're in big trouble.
Yeah.
So 7, we believe in the gift of tongues, prophecy, revelation, visions, healing, interpretation of tongues, and so forth. And for some of you who have perhaps served a foreign mission or needed to learn a foreign language, you maybe have experienced points where you pled for the gift of tongues. And I'll never forget, I was in Curitiba, Brazil, sitting in a sacrament meeting. I'd only been there 2 weeks. My Portuguese was terrible. I was sitting in sacrament meeting, waiting for the meeting to start, when the bishop came up, and I'm sitting there next to Elder Pratt, my trainer, and the bishop tapped on my shoulder and said something to me. I had no idea what he said, so I turned to Elder Pratt for interpretation. Elder Pratt said, the speaker didn't show up, one of their 2 speakers, and he wants you to come and speak. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? No way. And I was scared to death as I stood up and followed that bishop up to the stand and sat down. I had no idea what to say, even if I was going to speak in English, let alone in my broken Portuguese. Brothers and sisters, that was an amazing experience where I pled with God to help me get out of the way and to deliver some message that this congregation needed to hear in spite of my weakness. I don't know how, but the Portuguese just flowed. And people came up afterward and they were congratulating on my language, and I'm thinking, I got this language figured out. And I'm sitting here trying to have these conversations with people after the meeting. It was terrible. It was gone. It was back to how I was before. But there was a moment when I was giving that talk when it did just flow. And there were other moments like that throughout my mission. I guess my point is sometimes we get this idea that these spiritual gifts have to be permanent. Sometimes they come in a flash for a specific need, and then it serves its purpose.
Yeah.